In this video, we're going to talk about the age-old debate, free weights vs machines. Which one is actually better? And since many of you have been asking me recently what my thoughts are on this, I finally decided to film this video. Hey guys, it's me. Today I will try to look at all the pros and cons of each so you can make up your own mind. And by the way, if you get some value out of this video, please consider supporting us because we would really appreciate that. Okay, let's start off with the basics. What are free weights and what are machines? Well, free weights include things like dumbbells, kettlebells, and barbells. These are weights that you can move in 3 dimensions. On the other hand, machines offer resistance with weights that move along a fixed plane of motion. Things like chest press, leg press, shoulder press, hamstring curl, bicep curl, etc. So which one builds more muscle mass? The answer is that both of them can be equally effective. In fact, in a study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, scientists found no difference in muscle growth between a free weight and machine-based training program over 12 weeks. Both groups did 6 weekly sessions, each consisting of 8 exercises performed for 3 sets of 10 reps. So if you don't have access to one or the other, you'll be fine. Just keep in mind that you need to perform all exercises for a minimum of 8 weeks to see the results. Which one is safer for beginners? Some people claim that machines are safer than free weights, but both can be dangerous if used improperly. Many gym beginners tend to use lighter weights than they should. This is common whether they're using free weights or machines. That's because they're focusing on their form instead of actually challenging themselves. But if you use a challenging weight, you might lose your balance and not be able to complete the set, especially when using a barbell, which can be embarrassing. However, there's also the chance that you may lose your balance while using a machine, causing injury. With that said, I believe that most beginners who are unit careful will likely injure themselves with free weights rather than machines. So my advice is this: if you're new to the gym, don't try to impress anyone. Challenge yourself with a weight load that's heavy enough to fail within the targeted rep range, but don't sacrifice your form. If you still feel unstable, ask a spotter for help. Why free weights are better for improving balance and coordination? This is a great question. Unlike machines, free weights require you to stabilize the weight throughout the entire exercise. This automatically engages your stabilizer muscles such as your core, which gets trained indirectly, leading to better overall balance and coordination. On the other hand, machines typically lock you into place and do a lot of the stabilizing work for you. So it's perfectly safe to focus only on the target muscles without engaging those stabilizers. This can be beneficial if you're rehabbing an injury, but it doesn't exactly translate to real life. Being able to control your body weight in space is important for day-to-day activities. Think about carrying groceries, playing sports, dancing, going up the stairs, and so on. Now, I'm not saying that machines completely prevent you from developing good balance and coordination, but compared to free weights, they simply do less. Which one activates more stabilizer muscles? The answer is simple. As mentioned earlier, they force you to stabilize the weight, so they engage your core and other stabilizer muscles more than machines. Can you build a full body with just machines? Yes, absolutely. You can develop a well-balanced physique using either free weights or machines, so don't worry about doing both. It's not necessary. Choose one and stick with it. Which one is less likely to cause injury? The answer depends on what kind of injury we're talking about. Most gym injuries happen when people lift too heavy of a weight load for their level of fitness and can occur with both free weights and machines. People often get injured with free weights due to a lack of control over the weight they're relifting, especially when performing exercises like squats and deadlifts. This is why it's crucial to learn proper form and start with a manageable weight load. On the other hand, some people say that machines are safer because you're locked into position and can't cheat. However, even then, you can still get injured by choosing an excessive weight load. Take the leg press, for example. Some people go too heavy and end up putting their lower back into a compromised position, which can lead to serious injury. Overall, the key takeaway here is to start light and gradually increase the weight load. Regardless of whether you're using free weights or machines, which one gives better long-term strength gains? When it comes to long-term strength gains, the winner is free weights. This is because free weights allow you to progressively overload more effectively by varying your grip width and stance. For example, with a barbell, you can take a closer grip to increase the range of motion and make the exercise more challenging. On the other hand, machines usually have a fixed grip width, which limits the ability to increase the range of motion. You can sometimes adjust the angle of the seat, but this doesn't effectively increase the range of motion. Ultimately, increasing the range of motion leads to more mechanical tension, resulting in more significant strength gains in the long run. Additionally, free weights often allow you to perform negative reps, which can further enhance strength gains. Unfortunately, it's difficult to perform negatives on most machines. Which one is better at isolating muscles? Machines are undoubtedly better at isolating muscles by locking you into a specific plane of motion. Machines reduce the involvement of stabilizer muscles and direct the movement to the intended target muscles. This can be particularly beneficial for people who want to specifically target certain muscle groups or have muscular imbalances. Free weights are better at mimicking natural movement patterns. Free weights mimic more closely the natural movement patterns of daily life. Using free weights requires your body to adapt and adjust to different angles and planes of motion, making it more functional for everyday activities. For example, picking up a box from the ground and walking up the stairs involve multiple muscle groups and simulate real-life scenarios. Which one burns more calories during the workout? Machines typically burn slightly fewer calories than free weights, because they do not engage the stabilizer muscles as much, leading to a slightly lower metabolic rate. However, the difference is usually it's like comparing apples to oranges. The calorie expenditure depends on many factors, including the intensity and duration of the workout. Are machines better for rehabilitation in older people? Yes, machines can be very helpful for rehabilitation in older people. They offer a safe and controlled environment to rebuild strength and muscle mass. Machines also provide a fixed plane of motion and support the body's natural alignment, reducing the risk of injury. Many physical therapists use machines in rehabilitation programs because they allow the patient to perform movements in a non-threatening manner. Why some bodybuilders prefer machines for isolation? Bodybuilders often use machines for isolation because they help target specific muscle groups more effectively. This allows them to achieve the desired muscle shape and size. Machines also provide a consistent and stable platform, which is helpful for performing isolation exercises with high levels of precision. The mind-muscle connection refers to the relationship between the brain and the muscles. It's the ability to consciously control and activate a specific muscle group during exercise. Both free weights and machines can help establish a mind-muscle connection, but free weights might offer a slight advantage. Because they require more body awareness and stabilization, you might find that you connect with your muscles differently when using free weights. How I combine both to get the best results. I personally incorporate both free weights and machines into my routine. I find that machines are really useful for isolation exercises, especially after an injury. After my shoulder injury, I did a lot of rehab using machines. Also, machines can be a great addition for building up strength. There's nothing wrong with using machines for that. On the other hand, I prefer free weights for compound movements and for the majority of my workouts. This is because I love to train with a high degree of freedom, and I believe that it more closely mimics natural movement patterns. What's better for home workouts? Dumbbells or machines? Dumbbells are generally considered better for home workouts. They're versatile and can be used for a wide range of exercises targeting various muscle groups. Additionally, dumbbells offer the benefit of requiring minimal space for use, making them a convenient option for home settings. Is progressive overload easier to achieve with free weights or machines? Progressive overload is the key to muscle growth and strength gains, and it's easier to achieve with free weights. As mentioned earlier, you can change your grip width and angle, which increases the range of motion and makes the exercise more challenging. It's easy to attach additional weights to a barbell, and you can always add weight to dumbbells as you get stronger. So which is better? Out of everything I've said, you probably noticed that both options have their strengths and weaknesses. So the answer to the age-old question is neither free weights nor machines are inherently better. It really comes down to personal preference and what you enjoy doing more. I have a bias towards free weights, but I do incorporate machines when needed. At the end of the day, the most important thing is to choose the equipment you prefer and stick with it. Make sure you push yourself by increasing the intensity of your workouts over time. And remember, regardless of what you choose, improper form is never a good idea. If you're unsure about your form, don't hesitate to seek guidance from a qualified professional. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow our channel, and I will see you in the next video.